hitchhiking was a really big thing. So there were people everywhere with signs and, say, I'm going here, I'm going there. And I had a sign saying that I was going south, and a man pulled up in a blue van. There were 2 other people behind me who had the same sign, going in the same general direction. And when the man pulled up, they noticed he had an empty van. There was nothing in the back, but he said he only had room for 1 person. The other 2 people behind me said, you shouldn't go in there. If he's not willing to take other people and just a female, that's not the safest bet. But at the time, I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't a daredevil or anything. I was just desperate to get home. I could not live another day out alone. I was just so exhausted. I dozed off for a little bit. And when I woke up, I noticed that the signs were different and they were heading in the opposite direction. And I picked it up and said, look, you're going the wrong way, and you know you're going the wrong way. He pulled over in the middle of a deserted road. I then thought, well, I'm in trouble. And I looked down and noticed my tennis shoe was untied. Now, if I'm gonna be able to outrun this person because I'm young, he's old, I'm healthy, he's not, I better tie my shoe. So I opened up the passenger door, got out to tie my shoe. That's when a sledgehammer hit me on the head. When I came to, I was tied up in the back of his van. He raped me a few times, probably about 6 times, and he fell asleep, but I couldn't get away because I was completely tied. I wanted to die. That was the worst feeling I've ever felt. The whole time I was just telling him, please, just set me free, let me go. Set me free. I remember the words, just set me free. I won't tell. We're still in the middle of nowhere. And he pulls me out. And I'm completely naked and already bleeding. And he said, you want to be set free? I'll set you free. And he pulled out a hatchet from his toolbox and took my left arm and took one swing. And I started to fall. And then he took another swing, and I grabbed his arm, grabbed it real tight, and I couldn't figure out, I'm holding him real tight on his arm, but I'm still falling. I looked down at my arm, and there was nothing, just blood squirting out. I felt all the pain, the sharpness, the burning, and when my blood was leaking out of my body, I felt the hot ooze just flowing out of me. I felt everything. I was aware of everything, and the pain was so excruciating. And he then took my right arm, and I started kicking and screaming, hoping someone would hear me, and I'm just kicking nonstop. And he started to chop my right arm off. But because I'm still kicking and screaming, it took longer, so he had to keep chopping away at my arm. At that point, he started to drag me. And I think he thought I was dead because I just lay still and didn't move. And he threw me off a 30-foot cliff. I just didn't know he drove off. I didn't know if he was waiting or what, but I just laid there, bleeding to death. And all I wanted to do was go to sleep. But all I heard was a voice saying that I can't go to sleep. He's gonna do this to somebody else. And I can't let that happen. I stuck my arms in the dirt to pat my arms so that they won't bleed so much, and the dirt would act like mud and it'll stop some of the bleeding. I crawled back up the cliff without any hands. It was dark. It was very, very dark. And I could barely see, but I could hear the faint sound of traffic somewhere over the hill. Like there has to be a freeway somewhere. I'll just follow that noise. I just walked until it started getting daylight. And the first car that came, it was a red car with no top on it. It was one of those sporty type cars. And there were two guys that were driving it. It says, help me, help me. But, I mean, think about it. I have no hands now, and I'm covered from head to toe in blood. I look like something from a Fright Night movie. And they took off. So all I could think of was, I'm gonna die out here. Because everyone's too afraid to even stop. And that's when the second person came, and it was a honeymoon couple that had gotten lost. They just tried to help me up into the truck and said, lay still, we'll get you there. And they raced really fast. I mean, it was an old truck, but I could hear the wheels peeling out. They were able to get to a phone to call the paramedics. I lost over half the blood in my body, and the rest of the blood in my body got to a toxic level, but my body took it because I guess I was that desperate to live. I never knew that there could be people like that in the world. And I pray to God I never know another. It's God and my sons that keep me going. They keep me loving life more than most people. I appreciate it more, and I'm just glad that I'm given another chance at life, that I didn't die. I'm a survivor. I survived.